It's time for an episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Oh my god, Shirley, what are you doing to me? Because CG is fixing quite a few buffs and bugs and things and stuff and things that we've even spoke about, like Zeb. Zeb, for one. He's getting fixed, isn't that wonderful? And some other stuff. But also, the Rotta rewards have been fixed. We are no longer getting 1 credit. But don't get too excited, ladies and gentlemen. What I can tell you is that some things are good and some things are baffling. Like, really baffling. Let's talk about it, shall we? Let's start things off with the update patch notes that Meathead just put out about 40 minutes ago, because it's a doozy. Here we go. Dedra Miro shards are now farmable from Dark Side Battles 8E Hard. That is a 20 energy node, so congratulations to everybody going for Dedra. Captain Ithano, the pirate, is accelerated, which gives me hope that at the end of the next era we should see lightspeed tokens that are going towards pirates. I have hope. Don't destroy it, please. Next up, we've had, of course, Jedi Training Layers kit. If you haven't watched my kit reveal video, go watch it now. Do yourselves a favor and help me pay for the garden that I'm having done at the minute. It's really expensive. Anyway, bugs and fixes. Isn't this wonderful? Fixed an issue where This Will Hurt uses incorrect multiplier amounts for resistance and raid bosses. Yeah, so This Will Hurt. This Will Hurt belongs to Hunter Mercenary. Apparently this was doing the wrong amount of max health damage to bosses and stuff. I wonder if this is very similar to what was going on with Zeb. Not sure, but they've also fixed that. Fixed an issue with IG90's TW. Omicron is not granting taunt ignore effects when Dr. Afro has more than 50 stacks of Siphon. That's quite useful to have, don't get me wrong. Buffs that are applied from Zeb's Omicron from Dispelling Taunt or Stealth are now applied at the end of the turn. Nobody's been able to see this, but I'm guessing they've tested internally. And then it's so good, in fact, that they fixed it twice. Good job, CG, I'm proud of you. The Fearless state from Satil was not working as intended, which is really true and really annoying. We used to get the Fearless status, and then you'd get feared anyway by stuff like, you know, who does fear? I'm not even sure. Stuff like DR and things like that. Maul Hate Fueled was applying fear to Satil, and that was really annoying. The Fearless from Satil was not working as intended, but whenever an ally was losing Fearless, all other allies' immunities were also getting dispelled. Irritation! Fixed an issue with Zeb Aurelios' new Republic pilot. Special ability Tactical Reversal is mixing max health damage effects from raid bosses and percentile health resistant enemies. This is good. Should be fixed now. We can test that in a moment. Fixed an issue with Carson Tiva's finisher recipe. Neglected to mention the credit cost. We won't even see that for most people. Updated an error level frames to correctly map the new maxed error level. Okay, cool. That's handy. Fixed an issue with R5 was standing in for Rotta the Hutt in an error start message. While Admiral, the resemblance was minimal. I mean, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. So, I mean, first of all, let's test Zebalicious over here. Delicious Zebalicious. We should now see a normal amount of attacks being done. Well, we can test it in 2 places. We'll test it, first of all, I guess, against this boy over here. My Zeb on my alt account, which we're on right now, isn't actually error leveled up, so I'm hoping he gets a turn and doesn't straight up die. Thank you for the dodge, Zeb. Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, so let's see. If done correctly now, Zeb should deal some damage when he uses that second special. In the past, he used to just straight up miss, so hopefully now he actually works as intended. Let's see, 1 time speed. It'll do next to no damage, but it should do some damage. It does some damage! Congratulations! Bug is now officially fixed, at least one side of it. Let's just double check to make sure that they fixed the non-boss side of it. I'm sure they have. I have utter faith in you, CG. Let's just see how it goes. We'll go over here. Oh, well, actually, maybe we do go in a lower tier because our Zeb is not too delicious, not too spicy. Just basic. Hopefully we don't feed everybody immediately because that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Oh, actually, we do have the Dark Trooper whom we'd need to murderize multiple times. Okay, does this just do 1 instance of damage? It does. Yeah, they've totally fixed it. Great. Good job, CG. Proud of you. Now on to the meat and bones and the part that we should get a little bit confused and concerned by. So, the Rotta the Hutt Legendary Journey Guide event that's coming in right now has taken an odd turn. The rewards that we get for the first time victory have drastically changed compared to what we previously would have gotten for these. You can see stuff like this, you know, the first tier to get the unlock, you get a plenty of the Mark 1s, the Mark 2s, you get the Mark 3s, you get the Mark 4s, you get the Mark 5s. So all of this stuff, all the way up to the Mark 5s, you get all of them, plenty enough room to fly through those levels, right? So if we were to look, where does the Mark 5s get us? If we were to go to like 60 over here, you can see these are using all the Mark 3s. So how about to 80 over here? 80 is using Mark 4s. So you'll easily be able to go to 95, I take it, maybe 110. Mark 5s, there you go. As soon as it goes up to the next tier, which is our Mark 6, you'll be able to get him to error level 95 right out the ripperoo, which is the equivalent of what? 95 would have been the equivalent of 55 in the old setup. So 95 over here is going to be gear 10 unit, right? You'll get him gear 10 if you do the 4-star unlock. If you are pushing even further to get the 5-star unlock, previously you'd get enough to go up to what used to be like error level 70-ish, 75. But that has changed now. When you beat this tier now, you're only getting the Mark 5 ability mats again, right? Over here, we get some Mark 5s, 750 and 50. That's not actually enough to go up to 95. And then you get the remaining Mark 5s, but nothing on top of that. Previously, we would be getting up to the Mark 7 ability materials. I'll show you here, 1 second. This was me doing the Cassian Andor unlock, and this is the 5-star unlock. You can see we've got 9,250 of the Mark 6s, 700 of the second part of the Mark 6s, and these are the Mark 7 materials. The ones that you need to essentially get you all the way up to Gear 12 and kind of beyond a little bit, I think, as well as the 3 lightspeed tokens that you get. So the good thing is you do still get those lightspeed tokens, but you don't get nearly as many mats to level up, right? You're going to be stuck at 95, more or less, which, whilst is okay, it's not really getting you as far as you used to, and it's giving you a small amount of error currency. It's not really going to be enough to get you very far. This one over here gives you more. So, you know, this one down here is going to give you the bulk of it. You're going to get your 5 lightspeed tokens if you get a 5-star, but it's not taking you to the same error levels as previously. Now, before we completely lose our mind and go absolutely off the rails, they have changed the later tiers. Okay, so if you get the 6-star unlock, you're not getting more error leveling materials, but you are getting quite a significant amount of signal data. And it's really heavy loaded on the end. 90 of the blue signal data. Tier 3 signal data, 90. That's a huge amount of signal data. And then 50 of the tier 2, 40 of the tier 1, and then you're getting a good amount of aero droids, droid brains, aero magnifiers, impulse detectors, 40 of each, 40 zimbiddles, 40 electriums, 40 erodiums, 40 chromium transistors, and some extra Xaereth ability modules as well. So, like, whilst you're not getting the materials for the error leveling, you are getting quite a hefty amount of relic materials. Specifically, the signal data rewards are pretty damn good. And right at the top tier, it's more of the same, but even better. 110 if you get the 7-star unlock, 110 blue signal data, 60 of the green, and then you're getting 40 droid brains and 40 girder keypads, and 40 aero magnifiers, and 40 impulse detectors, and zimbiddles, and electriums. It's like, that's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff, and what this will do, essentially, is it will give you a massive head start in getting ready for the next era battle. Now, the downside of it is, of course, unless you are now willing to spend additional money, real-world money, buying the error leveling materials to get your Rotta up to higher error levels, you're going to have to spend some nominal amount of gearing him. Because you might have enough in the bank. I'm not sure. I haven't done the math on this. We're going to find out when we get Grogu and the Anzellans in just over a week's time. I'm not sure if we have enough of these materials at the end game. You know, when, you know, like, because once you get to tier 11, all you're getting is error leveling currency, or error currency. You're not getting any more error leveling currency. You're not getting any more materials to level up with. They cap out. You get the 5s. On the tier 10, you get the 6s. Right? So you're never getting the 7s. The 7s is what you need to go even further, right? So you are going to have to, you're not going to be in a position where you'll get free relic levels on your Rotta the Hutt. If you want that, you are going to have to spend real world money, and the only way to do that is to go into the shipment, not the shipments, is to go into the store over here, the error store, and you're going to have to start dropping money on, like, not necessarily the 6s, but although maybe the 6s, because it doesn't even give you the 6s, does it? So you'll probably have to spend on the 6s, and then you'll have to spend on the 7s, and if you want to go even further and get him up to like relic 4 or beyond, you're going to have to spend on the tier 7, the tier 7 and 8s as well. That's going to be a hefty price tag. Now, the good thing is it, like, realistically, do you need that boost? The way the new marquees have been coming out, most people have now been gaining a big influx of their gear, right? Because we're not spending it anymore. We're usually gearing most people up by using lightspeed tokens. The only thing that people are using their gear for most of the time now is leveling up things that can't be had with lightspeed tokens, like legendary units or conquest units that come out. So that's where their gear goes. The rest of it is just compiling. So does it really matter that you can't get your Rotta up to max? Or you know, even like close to where you used to be? Like, it feels like he's going to be capped out right now, because you're only getting the Mark 5s. I don't know if we earn enough of the Mark 6s through the course of the era, doing all of the tier 10s and tier 11s. I don't think we do, personally, but it does mean that you are going to cap out, whereas it's probably going to be, what, like 105 or 110? Mark 6s, the best you're going to get, if you get enough, is going to be 110. After that, it's going to be Oryx. So realistically, you're going to maybe get to gear 12. You're certainly not going to be getting him to relic levels unless you spend money. And then above and beyond, all of this is all real world money. Okay, so yeah, it's a bit of swings and roundabout situation here. You're not going to have the error levels. The gear levels on your Rotta are going to be capped. You're not going to go into relics unless you spend extra money. Because if you want that 7-star unlock, you are going to have to spend money on all of these error units, getting them up to error level 125, I want to say. Is that right? Is that right? Oh, let's check the inbox. I can't remember what they said in the newsletter for the top tier. Okay, here we go. In order to do the top tier, you need to be a level 125 in order to get it. Yeah, 125. You're not going to get anywhere near that on Rotta. 105 is probably the max, maybe 110. And that's if they give you enough error leveling materials to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? All in all cards on the table. Do you prefer the fact that you're getting a boatload more signal data for going to 7 stars? Are the free-to-play a little bit grumpy because now they're not getting as many error levels, which means they're straight up missing out. Just going to 5 stars, you are missing out. You're still getting the lightspeed tokens, but you're not going to come away with a gear 12 legendary unit. Well, you might do, but you know, it's going to be a lot harder. It depends on the resources. People that go further, you are going to get a bunch of signal data, relic mats, all that good business. That is significant. That is a significant amount of materials to level up where it matters, which is in the relics, right? It's a trade-off, boys. What are we thinking? Tribe, let me know. Comment section down below. Like if you haven't already. Give me a comment saying how you feel. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you all in the very next video. Peace out, and may the Force be with you.